Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing great today. Appreciate those of you watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. And today we're talking about UHF, starring Weird Al Yankovic. And the 90s, not the 90s, the 1980s was really a decade of parodies in movies, especially in movies. It started with Airplane, and then it went through to Top Secret. Then it hit its peak at The Naked Gun, and then it ended with Hot Shots, with Charlie Sheen. But there, in between, you had good old UHF with Weird Al Yankovic. And who else better to have a parody movie in the 80s than Weird Al Yankovic, the king of parody songs. And he was on top of his game in the 80s. Actually, I don't really know if he was ever on the bottom of his game. Weird Al has been pretty consistent his whole music career. But, who else is better to make a parody movie than Weird Al Yankovic? And this movie, Weird Al Yankovic, who plays George Newman. He's a daydreamer who ends up running a failing local TV station, which his good old uncle gave to him, I think. Yep, his uncle. And the cast includes Fran Drescher before the Nanny days, Michael Richards before he was Kramer on Seinfeld, and you have Kevin McCarthy, who's always that villain type character, and he does a fantastic job in UHF as well. And okay, lost my place. Yep. And so the movie is really packed with a lot of spoofs. It opens with Indiana Jones with the boulder chasing him through pretty much everywhere through the cave, I guess it is, out to the streets. But this time the boulder does run over good old Indiana Jones. Then you have Rambo is in this movie as well. There's Wheel of Fish, which of course is the parody of Wheel of Fortune, and a little bit of Let's Make a Deal. You got Michael Richards hosting a chaotic kids show, which were pretty popular back in the 80s. You had Captain Kangaroo, and then you had the Bozo Show, right, with Bozo the Clown. That was on WGN. So you had like a lot of those kind of kids shows, and then you have Mario Brothers. I think that was Mario Brothers was in the morning as well. So you have those kids shows, and this one is just chaotic. And really, Michael Richards is probably what steals the movie from Weird Al. Weird Al does a pretty good job in this movie, pulls off a pretty good performance. But I have to say that Michael Richards probably tops him and really shines in this one. You'll probably remember more of the Michael Richards stuff than you do of Weird Al's character. And of course, it is a good old back here. It's good to go. Of course, you have the king of parody music. You had to have one of his songs in here. And this one, he does a parody of Desire's Work for Money. But in this one, Work for Nothing. I'm sorry, Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free, right? Money for Nothing. In this one, he rewrites it as The Ballad of Jed Clampett from the Billy Hillbillies. And, it's gold. Of course, when Weird Al gets a parody, he does a great job. And then one thing about the 80s, if you watch a lot of 80s movies, they like to put commercials in their movies. So Weird Al. So UHF has like commercials, and then you have The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It has commercials in it too, like that universe commercials, not like real commercials, right? And then RoboCop had commercials. And just like those movies, the commercials in this movie kind of like really are like the highlights of the movie, You really remember it. So my question is for you, 80s fans out there, UHF fans, you've probably seen The Running Man with Schwarzenegger. Most likely saw RoboCop 2. Which movie has the best commercials in their universe? This one, pretty close. I do enjoy the RoboCop commercials a little bit better. They're always over the top, way more violent, but kind of what this movie kind of shines on too a little bit. And each character, like Fran Drescher, like I already mentioned, Michael Richards, the fish guy, each character, the movie does give them time to flesh out the characters, and each character kind of does have their moment in the movie, which is good. It lets you breathe, lets you get to know the characters, and it gets some time to shine without everything feeling cluttered. So that's one of the highlights. I really enjoyed watching this movie. And of course, It has some memorable quotes, like Michael Richards, how he got real popular when he first time on the show. It's Forrest Gump, you have life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. For Michael Richards' character here, it's life is like a mop. And you got to get that mop, and sometimes it's going to get dirty and stuff, but you got to really get in between the cracks, and sometimes you got to put some elbow grease in there and clean up the crap that's in your life. That's kind of paraphrasing there, but that's kind of his motto. Life is like a mop, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool line there. Bear with me as I'm searching through my notes. One thing I do like about the parody of Rambo in here is if you watch Rambo 2, it's really the parody of Rambo 2, with the bow and arrow. You get the guys who are like 5 feet from him, can't hit him, just like Rambo 2. You got the exploding arrow where he blows the guy into a million pieces. But my favorite is when he's yelling into, like in Rambo 2, he's in the helicopter and he goes, ah, and he's blowing people up. Same here, and UHF is Weird Al takes that bit, but he just, takes it to 11. He takes it up there to 11. Ah, he got the mouth perfectly yelling. Of course, he gets that fake bodysuit that makes him all those muscles. He already has the long curly hair, kind of like Stallone did in Rambo 2. Really, all the parodies he does, he knocks him out of the ballpark in this movie. Trying to use my tablet here. So this is my final thoughts. UHF is one of those hidden gem comedies. It didn't really do well in the box office. Kind of got crushed by where they put it at against its competition. Really enjoyed it as a kid. Found it hilarious. And maybe because I grew up in that time period, I don't know. I find it funny as an adult. Is it dated? Yeah, I could probably say dated. If you haven't watched the movies that's in it, and all of them are 80s movies, you probably won't get the jokes. But, those movies that he does make fun of are very popular. It's kind of hard to say if somebody from Gen Z would have watched it or not, because when you talk to that generation, they hardly ever seen a movie before 2000, which I always thought was like a phenomenon. And then I try to think about my childhood back in the 80s and 90s, and like how often did I watch a movie from the 50s, 40s, and 50s, because unfortunately it's about the same time period. 80s, we watching movies from the 40s. I didn't watch very movies from the 40s, but I did watch quite a few from the 60s and the 70s, so I guess it shouldn't be that big of a shock. Though if you're a Gen Zer out there, you're missing a lot of good movies. You haven't watched anything before the year 2000. In the year 2000, Conan O'Brien. Okay. Anyways, that's my thoughts on UHF. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it? Hell, do you still find it today? Do you still find it as funny today as you did back then? Got that sentence out there. Hopefully you enjoy this. And hopefully you guys had a good time listening. Have a great day. Until next time, bye.